Good morning, Yarn Hellions. I'm Christine of Christine Parker Co. This is my cohort Sarah of Superfine Yarn Co. We're the Yarn Hellions, and we're here to show you some yarn and talk about books. And we've got a lot of fun stuff for you today. I'm really excited. But first, we should probably talk about, well, we don't really have to talk about it because it's just a bunch of bullshit. But this week was rough. We're both really tired. There was all kinds of political shit and whatever going on this week. I was really stressed out. How about you, Sarah?
It was very stressful.
Yeah. So Sarah, when we were trying to think of a topic for today, Sarah's like, what about books from our childhood? And that seemed so perfect. Like just a nostalgic trip down memory lane with our favorite comfort reads. I needed that this week. How about you? Oh, geez. So we want to talk about kids' books and reading and whatever. What do you think, Sarah? What was your favorite? Tell me about your favorite books as a kid.
My favorite book was Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine, and there hasn't been another book that I've just loved so much. It's still my favorite book, and I loved Meg so much, and I just felt like her, that you're just didn't quite fit in sometimes, and even though your family was close, they didn't quite understand you, and all of the science stuff, and like they had to go save the dad, and I just can't say enough about that book. So I've read it a ton of times and didn't watch the movie because I knew I would be disappointed in it. So I still haven't been able to watch it because it's just not right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's something about like when you read the book first and you love the book first, and then they go and they make the movie or the show or whatever, and it's not like how you have it in your head.
Oh, rarely well done.
Yeah.
A book later that I loved was The Golden Compass, and that movie they messed it up so bad. It's so disappointing. And of course there are some things that are done well, but oh gosh. Artemis Fowl, those books I read maybe 10 years ago and loved them, and that movie was a nightmare. I mean, they just are really bad at adapting books.
Yeah, I don't think there's a book that I've ever read where I was like, yep, movie's better. Movie's awesome. Although, you know what? I have heard, did you read what's it called? The Wizards? And there was like a show. Oh man, I'm going to botch this up. But it was like a book. It was like it was a trilogy of three books about like teenage wizards that go to wizard college and they like have sex, and there's like,
it's The Magician.
Yes, thank you.
And
yes,
I didn't read it first, and I watched the first and second season. I'm like, oh, this is really so I can't compare it to the book, but
I have heard that the show is better than the book.
Bonkers. If you watch, you're like, what is happening? There's so much. There's lots of like sex, and they're like the magic is crazy, and so I can't compare it to the book, and it's for adults.
I'll have to watch that and report back, because that's one of the ones where I read. Devin and I listened to the series on audio, and just loved it, and so I'll watch it and report back, because I don't know if I can trust that review that it's better. We got off topic. So A Wrinkle in Time, that was published like in the 70s.
Yeah.
I read that as a kid, and I feel like I read it once as an adult, but it's been a while since I've read it. That's a great like comfort read. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll bust that one out.
Yeah, fantastic. If people haven't read it, it's
it's like a children's chapter classic, like middle grade.
A little fantasy, a little sci-fi. Mm-hmm. And the kids are so brave and just have to face a lot. You're just like cheering for them. So how about you?
Real quick. Is A
Yeah.
Wrinkle in Time, is that a series? Are there?
There are other ones. There's like a Swiftly Tilting Planet. There are other ones, but
Yeah.
none as good as the
Never
first.
got to the, yeah.
So there are. But.
Okay. So my like favorite childhood comfort read is Anne of Green Gables.
Good.
That's one where I watched the 80s miniseries with Megan Follows. Yeah. Oh, so good. I saw that. Like, I was obsessed with that as a kid. That was one of those movies where you can you'll watch it one day and then rewind the cassette and then just watch it again. that was
Talking
really
about good adaptations. Yours is a good adaptation of a book.
That was a great adaptation.
I mean,
yes.
that casting, both oh my gosh, who's the aunt or oh my gosh, Matthew and Marilla.
Yeah.
The casting of
they
them.
were good.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I watched that miniseries a bunch before I ever read the books, and I think I didn't actually read the books until I was in my 20s, and I had some trauma, a traumatic thing happened, and I was like, I cannot read anything where anything bad happens. I can only have soft and fluffy with beautiful language and whatever. So anytime the world is shitty, those are the books that I go back to and I reread, and it's just so they're almost boring in a way that they're not action packed. They're not there's not a lot of drama. There's no mystery. It's just Anne and she's hanging out and writing about flowers and the beauty of the island and all this stuff. And I find that very soothing.
Her getting Diana drunk is my favorite thing ever. Oh, and saving Diana's little sister. Oh, there's such good stories.
There are. Yeah, just really that's the worst thing that happens is the little sister almost dies from scarlet fever and Anne saves her. Because of course she saves her. They're not going to have death in Anne of Green Gables. Although they do I don't spoilers for 100-year-old book. Matthew dies, and that's so sad. But it's also really beautiful, and somehow Anne's grief is very comforting. To share that with her and whatever. I don't know. Those are great books. Have you read past have you read the whole series?
Yes.
So have I.
And I like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you watch Anne with an E, which is the Netflix one?
I did not, but I've heard great things about it.
It is. I will say I was a snob and there's nothing better than the 80s one, and I'm not going to watch it. And it's so charming. And that actress, I do not know how they found her. It's just turn it on. It's a perfect knitting show.
Okay.
Just do it. It's different, but it's still charming and wonderful, and same feeling you got from the old one.
I heard it's a little bit darker.
I'm trying to think. I don't think of it being darker, and they might deal with more social issues.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I will check that out. And I will not be watching the Wrinkle in Time movie.
No, don't.
So we're interested now to hear all of our Yarn Hellions favorite nostalgic comfort reads. What did you put on the thing?
So put them in the comment.
Yeah.
And I even had some people, which is totally fine if you don't want to comment on YouTube or you just are more comfortable on Instagram, you can comment there or, just send us a little message, or if you want to tag us and we can put it in our stories too.
Ooh, yeah.
Do we want to do this tied in with our giveaway?
Yes, let's.
So let me show you on my tear of local dyers. This is Fuzzzy Green Fibers.
Love it.
See, but it's fuzzy with 3 Z's. Fuzzy. And this is Larissa, who's a local dyer. And I picked this one out on her site because it is just like green, a
Oh,
little bit of
love
like
it.
vanilla in it, and just some little hits of color in there, and just lovely. So I've been kind of Instagram friends with her since I started dyeing, and then I had a little open house at the studio in the before times, maybe December of 2019, and had like a pop-up with some local dyers, and she was one of them. So if you don't follow her, go and follow her and comment here or on Instagram about your favorite children's book. We'd love to hear, and you'll be entered for this drawing.
Yay.
And I pulled a name for last month's.
Oh, yeah.
And now that we're doing every 2 weeks, I shouldn't say last month because it was 2 weeks ago, but Beauty Mark, our friend Mariah, this was her skein, and I did a little comment choosing software, and Heather S won.
Cool.
So this is your
Thanks,
skein,
Heather.
Heather. We'll send it out to you.
I want all the skeins.
I have it in a basket here. Like, oh, this is gonna like dwindle down until they're gone.
We could just like keep them. We could just like make stuff with them. No, I'm kidding. We would never do that.
I do.
I want to hear about it.
Yes, good. I'm gonna
Show
hold
me.
it up, and it is still nameless, but still working on the best way to hold things up. But this is a new sparkle color.
Ooh.
So if you have any naming ideas, but it's a real pale peach with almost some like, I don't know if like salmon is not a good word to use for yarn, but some kind of like salmon, a little
Coral?
bit of pink, and then some real like kind of this nice leafy green in areas.
Ooh.
So I have not twisted them. They're still, I do 6 at a time, so they're still on their big hanks.
I can see the sparkle in there a little bit. That's pretty.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get it close. But yeah, so
Nice.
as yet unnamed, but once I take a picture of it and put it up on the site. I'm short in some other bases. I thought kind of the shortage was hopefully over, but now I had a few bases that are saying out of stock until March.
Oh,
so
no.
Really sad. So I'm going to be working on dyeing the bases that are in stock, but it's so hard to plan when, things are going in and out of stock. So that's my new one. I did want to talk. I think for this time of year, I posted one this week, but for this time of year, I think my Romney sock is a really great choice because I work with a mill in New York to make it, and it's more natural feeling than superwash yarn. So it's a blend of Romney and nylon, and I think I put plumage up earlier this week.
That's pretty.
For the bases that I get custom made for me, I have like these kind of like chartreuse labels, so you can tell the difference.
Oh, cool.
So I have a few colors in the shop, perfect for a pair of socks, a hat, a really, really warm shawl for some of the weather we've probably got coming up.
Oh, God.
Kind of made some of these colors to go nicely together.
I love that like bright green. Is it green?
Yeah,
is it yellow?
It is. It's like we're kind of like an acid green.
Love it.
That's Chihiro, Pennyroyal, and Plumage.
Beautiful.
So those are up on my site.
Pennyroyal is one of my favorite colorways of all time of any dyer. I love that colorway. So really fun. Pretty.
Hey. So that's my new yarn. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
What are you not doing?
What am I not? There's a lot of things I'm not doing. In a recent Instagram post, I teased that I have a secret project that I've been working on for you guys. And I was going to announce it in today's episode. And I will tell you the secret project I have been working on is an enamel pin subscription club. Every month you can sign up. It's going to be through Patreon. So every month there will be a new pin that you will help me, the subscribers, my Patreons will help me design. We're going to do it together every month. I had to make the first one just by myself because I had to have something to send to members before they subscribe. So I put that all together. I'll put like my Patreon link in the show notes so you can sign up if you want to jump on my pin. Oh shit, I forgot to get a picture of it. Well, you can kind of see. So it's going to be a pomegranate.
Oh.
Okay.
Zoom in a little more there.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pomegranate. It's a peace sign because I heard that pomegranates are going to be big in 2020. Okay. That's like the fruit of the year. Wow. It's pomegranate. So I'm like, all right, I'll jump on that train. So yeah, we're going to have a pomegranate is the February pin. If you want to get the enamel pomegranate pin for February, you have to sign up for my Patreon. You have to subscribe by January 31st. And then your credit card, you won't actually be charged for the pin club until February 1st. So you got to like lock in your subscription by January 31st. You'll be charged February 1st, and then the pins will start mailing like around the middle of February. So you'll receive your pin towards the end of February. And then once you're a subscriber, you get access to all this cool shit that I have in my Patreon. So there's like, for Pin Club subscribers, you also get a matching digital wallpaper. There's going to be a matching fabric that will be in my Spoonflower shop. Hopefully, eventually, I'd like to put together like a secret community. So like only for my Patreons to like hang out. We can talk about, maybe there'll be a book club and stuff. I haven't started that yet, but it's coming. I don't want to overwhelm myself with like too much going on at once. But I've got lots of plans for the Patreon. So that's going to be really excited about it. I'm so excited to like make pins with you guys. Oh my God. We could put swear words on them. We can make funny doodles. I don't know. We'll just, I don't really know where it's going to go, but we'll see what happens. So
exciting.
Yeah. My Patreon monthly pin club. Yeah.
So how are you, if I sign up for the pin club, how are you taking like, I think I have an idea for the March pin. Like, are you taking those on Instagram, or how does that work?
So the way Patreon works, it's almost like a blog where like the owner or whatever, the artist, me, I'll make different like little posts every couple days on the Patreon that only.
So it really will be like separate, like a.
Yeah. And you can only access this content if you're a subscriber.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I might put a poll on there like, okay, should we do another fruit or should we do a bird? Like I don't know, we'll see. I might ask for suggestions like, what's your dream pin? What have you always wanted to see on a pin and you can't find? So yeah, it'll be through Patreon. The dog just farted on me. I don't know if you heard that.
You were worried she was going to be disruptive, and she's not, just only to you.
She's right here. This is Bindi. We're sitting on the couch. She just, anyway. That distracted me. What was I talking about? The pin club? Yeah. So yeah, if you want to, I'm going to have all kinds of fun stuff. Like, as soon as I get so many subscribers, I might start adding a vinyl sticker club too, or I might include vinyl stickers with the pin club. There's like different tiers that you can sign up for. So like maybe you only want access to like the digital stuff and you don't actually want a pin. There's a tier for that. It's like $3 a month. And you can just like hang out and get the behind the scenes secret stuff that I'm working on and the special posts and whatever. And then the pin club is going to be, you'll get like all the digital stuff and the top secret behind the scenes, whatever. And then the monthly pin, that's $15 a month. And then that's for US residents. It's $15 a month for US residents. And then there's a tier for international residents. So like Canada, Australia, Europe, everywhere else it's not US. I had to tack on, it's got to be a little more expensive because shipping's really expensive. But for February, there's a limited number of subscriptions. I only have 50. I've got 40 US and I've got 10 international. And then I had to cap it because I don't want to overwhelm myself. And then like the more interest there is, like I'll raise the number of pins. So if you really want the pomegranate, get in there ASAP. January 31st is the cutoff.
Great.
Yeah. So that's my 2 super top secret exciting news. Patreon Pin Club.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. That got me all sweaty. So in our notes, Sarah, it looks like you're working on a big fatty cowl.
I am.
Which was my design.
It is your design. Let me get this. Oh, and I do have to show off this.
Oh my God. Is the dog flipping? Show it again. That's really funny. Where did you get that?
Oh, it's Stitches last year, and we can put her link in there, but it's Emily Martian, and she has, there's a lot of, you would appreciate them because there's a lot of them that are like
Rude.
A little bit sweary, and they're so fun. Actually have a zipper bag I'll try and find with a cat on it. That is pretty funny too. So, and let's see. I'm at the end of a row. Oh,
woo.
So, and I love the, this is Baby Love, this colorway, but look at that chunky eye card.
Wow, that's pretty. Is that your bulky yarn that you're using?
It is. So I'm holding it double.
Okay. Oh my God, I bet it's so squishy.
It really is. I cannot believe it.
Nice.
So I just switched to my second skein, but I'm really excited about it. So
that's a
does not take long at all. I actually cast on a little while ago, but I've just been picking it up a little bit at a time. But I'm really enjoying it.
For me, that pattern, like it's so easy and it's so fast, but those big chunky needles sometimes make my hands ache. So like for me, it was a little slower than.
Yeah, I feel like I used to only knit on, big needles like this, and now it feels so funny.
Yeah.
And then
as
I could only
compared to
find
little
19s, and those were way too big, so I got 17s, and these feel better. So, but I really love it, so I can't wait.
Yay. Cool. Yeah, if you guys want to knit a big fatty cowl, it's a free pattern. It's on my Ravelry and on my website. We'll stick the link in there in the project notes that I don't know if anyone ever goes to the project notes, because I'll be honest, sometimes I don't put the links in there that I say I'm going to put in, and no one has ever said anything.
Oh.
So if I miss a link, you guys, and there's something that you want, just leave a comment or DM us or email or whatever. We'll get it to you.
Put it in. And then I have something super cute that I got. So one of my shops that I sell to is in West Virginia. It's called Free Spirit Fibers. She's still really new, Mandy, and she put this up, and it's a pom-pom kit.
How fun.
And I was like, I need to get this. So I have to show you how adorable this is. It comes, there's 2 in the kit, and I've done one, but not the other one, so I can show you. Oh. You get like a little mini sewing kit. And then you get a little faux fur piece. Oh, and a pom-pom.
Cute.
And then you sew them around and make a little faux fur. So I did one, and I almost lost it. So it's got the little snap on the bottom that you sew on, but first you sew it. So this is kind of like a maroon. That is so cute. So actually, I did this hat right before it, and I pulled this so tight it doesn't fit on it. So I was really mad because it doesn't fit on this one. So next hat. this is gonna have to
Nice.
go on, but it's super cute kit. I was really yeah, the little snap.
The snap is smart.
I know.
For like a removable pom-pom, if you're like,
Yeah.
today I feel fluffy, tomorrow I might not.
So super
Cute.
I really had fun with this little kit. So I did one of those. So Free Spirit Fibers. You need a pom-pom kit.
I've done pom-poms where they have like it's got like a rubber band or like a little elastic loop sewn in, and then you sew a button on the inside of your hat and you like stick the little elastic loop through the top of your hat and loop it around that button. So that it's like removable.
That's
but
nice.
I like the snap. What is
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
It's my cat, Soph. Covered in fur now.
Nice. You can't tell.
Okay, good.
So and then the hat that I was talking about, this is a Winter Dreamer. And I did this with Bulky. And I wanted to show you, a while ago, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done cables in so long. And they were so much fun. So, and it's funny, I think I had to actually cut out some rows at the top because I think my Bulky is 109 yards, and I think this took 110, and that made a difference. Usually hats, I have a ton left over, and nope. So
interesting.
I had to kind of cut out some right at the top, but it didn't seem to make a difference.
It looks fine. It looks like it fits.
Yeah, it does. So
is it supposed to be a slouchy hat?
Not especially. So I think it's a little more fitted.
I need a bulky weight hat.
I haven't had one. I can't even remember. I must have made one a while ago, but yeah, this is the first one I've had.
I did cables the other day too. So in our last episode, you mentioned the twisted turban headband by don't look at my little ends that are sticking out. That I sewed them in, but I didn't snip them yet. So yeah, in our last episode, you mentioned the twisted turban headband by North River Knits, she's a Pittsburgh designer and a sweet baby angel. And I was like, that looks really cozy. And then our friend Mariah of Beauty Mark Yarn also made one, and I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, okay, I guess everyone in Cleveland is making a twisted turban headband. So I made one. How can I show you without losing my mic? I don't really know how to wear it.
Yeah, I think so. That's it.
I feel like I have a weird shaped head for headbands.
Oh, it's perfect.
Actually, that looks all right with my little
cute.
pigtails. Yeah,
it's
really cozy. It's I used Knit Picks Swish which is a worsted weight yarn. I just held it double to make bulky. But yeah, really fast, really easy. The 12 stitch cable was not my favorite.
It's like one big, like, ooh.
Yeah, that was difficult. And I'm like, I am definitely doing this wrong. And there's a note in the pattern that's like, no, you're not. It's right. Keep going.
Just keep going. Fine. It's just going to be tight for a few rows.
So, yeah.
And then when I think I put up Mariah's, and then she started following us or something. Mm-hmm. And so I started messaging her, and yeah, she's in Pittsburgh, and she knows the Woolies, who
I think that's how, like, I heard, because I think I started following her on Instagram because I heard about her on the Woolies, and I was like, I want to like be friends with more, local-ish. I mean, Pittsburgh's pretty close. Oh, yeah. It's like 2 hours from Cleveland. Also, real quick, I don't give a shit about football, but our football team just beat the Steelers, their football team, for the first. And so now the Browns, again, I don't care about football at all, but it's pretty cool that the Browns are in the playoffs for the first time, like in 20 years or something like that. So that's a long time. That would be, so my husband Devin's like, what if they won the Super Bowl? How 2020 would that be? It's just like the craziest shit that can happen would be the Browns winning the Super Bowl in this like bananas time that we're in right now. So maybe that'll happen. I would care about that. I I would be stoked for the Browns to win the Super Bowl, even though I don't care about football. Do you have any more projects?
I have a little corner of a shawl, which I will share. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Songbird by Shannon Cook, which has these really interesting different stitches. So you're just kind of a crescent triangle, and then there, I will tell you
fun.
that I was having trouble with this stitch, and I'll try and scooch it up there. It's a really pretty stitch, but it's one where you put your needle through between your second and third stitch that are on the needles. You put the needle through, wrap around the back, and pull that stitch out and around, and then you knit through the back loop of the next stitch and then the back loop of the one after it. It's a little bit tricky.
Wow.
And I had to consult my aunt, and because of COVID, she sent me a video of how to do it because I was so stuck. I'm like, I don't want to do this wrong.
Yeah.
So I am so thankful for
how fun.
Virtual knitting help, because it's just a little weird. And now that I am doing it, it's no big deal.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. When you're like reading it, it's this whole paragraph that you're reading through, and you're like, I just don't want to mess this up. But but turns out it's a really pretty stitch.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, and I don't have one next to me that I can show, but I'm like crocheting little hexagons for a blanket, and there's a stitch where you like, I think it's called a cluster stitch, but you like knit a bunch of stitches together like weirdly like that, and it just, I don't know, it sort of reminds me of that.
Yeah. So I am luckily doing it right now, thanks to Aunt Celia. And there's another interesting stitch which I'll scooch up. You can see like there's like long ones running up, so that's a really interesting one too. It's a little easier to do. You're just like kind of moving the yarn front to back so that stitch can keep like running up the front. So if you're on the front, you're moving it around the back, and if you're, so they can kind of ladder up like that.
Yeah, so it's almost like it looks woven almost like a basket.
Yeah, it really does. So I'm having fun, and it's worsted weight, and this is yarn that I'm adding soon. I was looking, this was my test batch to see if I wanted to add it as a base, because some of the other bases have been out, and this is a superwash BFL. So
tell me what BFL is.
I'm sorry, blue-faced Leicester, which is normally a yarn that would be non-superwash, but I had a few of the non-superwash that I'd added, so I wanted a worsted weight that was superwash. So this actually went out I send monthly boxes to yarn shops with special colors, and I'm just kind of getting started with that. So this went out to them for the January box, but I haven't added it to my shop yet.
And the blue-faced Leicester, that's just a kind of sheep, right?
A breed of sheep, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So this was my test to see how it knits up and whether I wanted to add it, and it was very successful. I really like the way it feels.
It looks squishy.
I'm
all about squishy yarn.
And I needed another worsted weight, so I think this is a good option, because the other one I have is custom made, so I don't always have it. Yeah. So this one I can have a little bit more. And I'm adding a Surrey alpaca silk blend that'll be lace weight. That'll kind of be similar to the kid silk, where you can kind of hold it along and kind of create a halo effect. So I'm going to get some more of those in to dye to put in the shop. And that's
all your projects.
Yeah.
I got a project to share.
Let's see.
In the last episode, I talked about how I screwed up the math on my parallelogram wrap pattern. So I'm like, okay, now your punishment, Christine, for fudging the math is now you have to knit another one. You have to knit another sample with your test knitters. We're going to do it together. And you're going to measure everything. You're going to weigh your yarn. You're going to do the math ahead of time. So that's what I'm doing. So this is just the body, like the beginning of the parallelogram wrap is knit in panels. So you start with like a body panel and knit that, and then you pick up stitches along the sides and knit some more and whatever. And it's all garter stitch. But this is the beginning of the body panel. And do you know, we just started, so the official test knit start date was January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Today is now January 10th. And one of my testers is done already.
That's unbelievable.
She's so fast.
That's a lot of knitting.
I know. Well, and you know, like I said, it's garter stitch, so it goes pretty fast, but she like cranked it out. Bless her heart. And they're all going really fast. And I just really love and appreciate my testers. They're great people, and it's really fun to do a project together with them. So I love you guys if you're watching. The yarn I'm using is little fishes. I should have looked it up. Little fish stitches, little fish yarn, little fish something.
We'll put it in the notes.
Yeah, she's an indie dyer, and I saw her, I think I came across one of her colorways on Instagram, and I said, because it was so pretty. And I have a rule, if a yarn makes me go, I have to buy it immediately. So I bought some of it, and it's really pretty. It's like a yellow with, like a golden yellow with like pink and blue and green and brown
how the color
speckles
is blending out. Yeah, it's pretty.
And I bought 2 skeins, so I'm alternating every 2 rows. I'm just carrying my yarn up the side as I go, alternating the 2 skeins so they speckle nicely and blend.
So have you picked out your panel colors?
Yes, it's going to be, so this is the body, this golden speckly yarn, and then the panels are going to be like hot pink to like pick up the pink in here, like that pink yarn. And then I'll probably do a black I-cord border. So that is that. I am not as fast of a knitter as my test knitters are. They're like I said, they're cranking them out. And I'm like, I knit 1 inch yesterday. So we have until I allowed like 6 weeks through the middle of February to finish the test, but I'm going to need probably all of the full 6 weeks to finish my own pattern. That's okay. You read a lot.
I did. I'm not even gonna feel like shy about it.
Yeah, you read a lot.
I did. So now that we're taping every 2 weeks, so we'll probably like blend out a little more. But I think because of the holiday too.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a lot of audio, like walking to and from work and on lunch and things. So I want to talk about what we talked about this a little off camera before, but I have been getting into true crime as well, and did Michelle McNamara's book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark, and did the show on HBO, and then did the audiobook, and it is just captivating, but also really terrifying, and really for people who aren't into true crime, probably not a great one to start with. It's very graphic description of the Golden State Killer, and he was the East Area rapist as well, and his victims and things in a lot of detail. But really the interesting part about it is Michelle McNamara and her life, and how she put so much time into tracking this killer, and a lot of her efforts kind of contributed to bringing it back to the public's attention and keeping it in the spotlight and not letting these stories kind of die. And unfortunately she passed away before they were able to capture him, but they did after she passed. And so a lot of this is talking about her efforts and how passionate she was about, kind of getting justice for these victims. So really interesting about her life, and also just this unbelievable monster who was just around for so long, and the police were just stumped.
That was like an older Case, right? Was that like 70s, 80s?
Yeah, 70s and 80s. And he moved around. He changed as time went on, from rapes to killing, to like attacking couples in their homes. So it's just it's a terrifying story, but you just couldn't look away. So for all my talk about, oh, I read romance and fantasy, well, now I like
murder.
crime and doing a few my favorite murders and things. So definitely, since this is my, I should actually talk to Amia too. But since I'm kind of into this, please shoot me any recommendations. And someone, I think it was one of your friends, was like, oh, that's a tough one to start with because there's a lot to this one. So definitely, if you have any recommendations for other true crime, I would be up for that too, because I just can't believe how captivating this was.
So one of the books I have on my list, I mentioned it last time, but it's so our friend Amia, who works at the library, does a true crime book club every month, and the February book is about a Cleveland serial killer, an unsolved historical serial killer, the torso murders, from like the 1920s. So the book for February, which I believe the book club meets virtually, it's on Zoom, on February 8th. But if you want to, I'm going to read this for the book club, and so like if you guys want to read along with me, we can do that. But the book is Elliot Ness and the Mad Butcher: Hunting America's Deadliest Unidentified Serial Killer at the Dawn of Modern Criminology, which is a really long title. It's by Max Allen Collins and Brad Schwartz. So I'm going to read that. I'm excited. The torso murders are really gross and disturbing, and they're unsolved, which just freaks me out. Like Devin and I had a virtual date not that long ago through another Cleveland organization. The Case Western Reserve Historical Society puts on monthly like lectures about different topics related to Cleveland. And one of them was about the torso murders. And the presenter kept talking about how like he would like describe each of the victims, and like their head wasn't ever found, but like, where is it? How do you just like, how do you not just find, like, where is it, you guys? It's like crazy creepy. But that's the stuff I love about true crime, is like it's almost like the mystery of it. Like you don't, even when the like cops sort of figure out what happened and like what was going on, like you don't really know, so I don't know, that sort of creepy unsolved mysteries really,
oh yeah,
I love it. So I'm going to read that. That's one of my books. I don't want to read it too soon because I'll forget everything that I read like before the book club meets. So I'll probably start it at the beginning of February.
oh that's good.
Yeah, but I'll talk more about it, and I think we'll have 1 or 2 more episodes before then. So I'll bring it up again. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have other books to talk about?
I do have other books. A book that it's one of my favorite books I've read in a long time, and this is a book that people on TikTok are going crazy about, but The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And I had read her series, A Darker Shade of Magic, and really liked it. And it has such a strange premise, and it just was captivating, and I really, really loved it. This woman about 300 years ago in France, she's a young woman, and really in her small village, really the only option was getting married and having babies, and she wanted to travel. She didn't want to be tied down. And her parents went to the local church, but there was this woman in town who said, well, you can pray to the old gods, and they're in the forest and the water, but don't ever pray to the gods that come out at night. And so she gets a little desperate and prays right at dusk, and the god that comes out at night came to answer her prayer. And she doesn't word it very well. She wants freedom. She doesn't want to be tied down. So she makes a deal with him.
Uh-oh.
And she is granted her freedom, except the twist is that no one can remember her. She can't put her mark on anything. She kind of walks through the world, and as soon as someone sees her and turns away and turns back, she's forgotten. So it's this difficult life for her, but she lives through so many eras and sees so many beautiful things and is able to travel and be independent. But she really struggles. You know, she can't make any connections. She can't, you know, for example, if she goes to an inn, pays the innkeeper, goes upstairs, but then they tear her out of the room because she's a squatter and they've never seen her before. So it's a hard living for a while till she kind of figures out the quirks of how to like get around this. Anyway, it's beautifully told, going back and forth to, she's in 2014 New York, and then going up through time to meet her now and what she's lived through. So beautifully told, lovely book. I can't say enough about it.
That sounds awesome. I've been meaning to read some Victoria Schwab, V.E. Schwab. A Darker Shade of Magic has been on my list for a long time. I'll have to.
It's great. It you know, that's more like a traditional thing that I would read, kind of very fantasy, whereas this is more like, I'd say like a mix of literary and fantasy. So, but I really recommend that.
Cool.
More on my traditional Sarah read. And this is YA. This is The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. Really fun. There's this secret society, and the girl in trouble, secret society, they're trying to help her. They're right-handed or left-handed, and that kind of depends on their qualities and their strengths in the magical world. So I'm not describing this as well as I want to, but it's kind of a quick read, kind of fun, kind of dangerous. It's alternate, like 1983 London. So like the clothing and things like that are really great. And
that's fun.
One of the heroes, he's gender fluid, so that's interesting. Like they'll be running away and they'll run into, you know, somewhere, and he comes out in a dress, and then they keep running. And, he's just a really great character. So
cool. What is the title of that one again?
Yep, it's The Left-Handed Booksellers of London.
Nice. That's a fun title.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I lost my book covers. And then on the Bridgerton kick, if you need something that's kind of along those lines, The Duke of Seduction by Darcy Burke. Really fun. The premise is adorable, which is that his sister got snubbed a lot when she was coming out and had a really hard time. So what he does is he writes these little sneaky things that he puts in the paper. So it's almost like Lady Whistledown in a way, except he always praises, you know, like a wallflower, like, oh, she's the next thing of the season, and then she gets a lot of attention and you know, gets married easier. So he thinks he's doing them like this great favor. Well, the heroine doesn't want this attention and thinks it's just so rude of this guy to write about her, and so just a really cute premise. And
is that like, what's the trope? Is it like enemies to lovers?
Yeah, like she like doesn't want, she wants to kind of find out his identity so she can like tell him from keep him from interfering like with her life. So yeah, she's really doesn't like him.
Those are my favorite. That's like, I think my favorite trope is enemies to lovers.
Yeah. So
good stuff.
Kind of different, all over the place books, but I was really, really happy with everything I read this time.
Nice. Yeah, it's fun to, like, it's comforting to stay in your your reading comfort zone. Like that's what I don't like. I barely have anything to share books wise because I've just been reading. I keep talking about the Anna Pigeon series, the park ranger who works in the national park, her series by Nevada Barr. That's like, I think I'm on 8 or 9. I just
Oh my
like that's so I
gosh.
don't have like I have nothing new to report. Anna
Still,
solved another murder in a different national park.
it's
Uh,
great that they're like
so
that you like them that much to read that many.
yeah. Um, I'm reading right now. Have you heard of? Did I get the picture? The cover? It's called Less by Andrew Sean Greer. Have you seen this cover? It won a
No.
Pulitzer. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Ooh.
And it's just like about this guy, and he goes on a trip around the world. He's like turning 50 and he's like freaked out about it. And his former lover slash boyfriend, who's like 10 years younger, is getting married, and he's freaked out about that. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go on a world tour. And he goes to Mexico and Italy and Berlin, and then he goes to Morocco and India and Tokyo. And so he's like just bouncing around. And so it's like he's sort of like a bumbling, kind of awkward, anxious, nervous guy. So it's just like really funny to read about like the different troubles that he gets. Like he gets into, he gets into mischief, and he gets into like weird stuff happens to him. And I don't know, he's a very relatable character. And the we've talked about this before too, like the language that the author uses to write. The writing is really beautiful, great, just really great lyrical sentences and beautiful metaphors, but it's also funny. Like it's beautiful and it's hilarious. So yeah,
That's a
it's
tough
a
combo
fun.
to get.
I know it won a Pulitzer for a reason. So I think that was back in 2017. So, but that's what I'm reading. I was trying to finish it last night so that I could talk about it, but it was like 11:30, and I'm like, I have to go to bed, or I'm like not gonna be rested for podcasting. So, all right. Well, anything else? I'm done. That was it. That's all I had.
No, I think that was all for me too.
Okay. All right. Well, Yarn Hellions, thanks for hanging out. We will be back in 2 weeks, barring natural disaster. And that's it. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you guys soon.
Guys.
Bye.